Hey beautiful, in my last video we talked about Lydia, who was a merchant who sold purple and silk cloth to the rich and wealthy. Today is all about the Proverbs 31 woman. Check it out. Proverbs 31 is the first passage I discovered when I was trying to identify, was I really doing what I was supposed to be doing? Was I on the path that God had set me on? And when I found it, it relieved my anxiety so much because it did show me that what I was doing was exactly the path that God had me on, and that it was okay to be a working mom and to have multiple forms of income. The passage that I'm specifically talking about is Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. It is part of a poem that King Lemuel's mother wrote to him. And in this section, it talks about the qualities of a wife, the qualities of the loyal woman. Well, the target audience of Proverbs 31 is for men. There's a lot that we can learn from there for our business and as business women as well. So I encourage you to read it and to study it, because today I only have time to talk about 3 things that I pulled from the video. The first thing I noticed from this passage is the theme of integrity and trust. In verses 11 through 12, it talks about that her husband safely trusts her and that he lacks no gain. She does him good all the days of her lives. Integrity means doing the right things the right way. While this passage specifically talks about her husband, we know by just from studies of culture during that time that he trusts her. He was very vulnerable to her. Therefore, if the person who's closest to her trusts her and was vulnerable to her, the community could trust her. So having that integrity with her husband meant that the community could have integrity. They knew to trust her business. They knew that she had quality products. They knew that she was going to take care of her people. She took care of her family, as stated in the passages as well. In verse 23, it states that her husband was respected at the city gates. And that can be comparable to the city council now, that he was highly respected there. Now, during that time, a man was not highly respected if his wife and his children did not uphold the same values. So that knowing that he was highly respected also tells us that she had a lot of integrity, that she was known in the community to be highly reputable as well. When we're building our business, it's really important that we have integrity in order to build trust with our clientele, our partners, and even our staff. This creates credibility, and credibility can go a long way, especially when it comes to word of mouth. Who doesn't like free advertisements? When you have high integrity, people are going to want to come to you. They're going to trust you, whether they know you or not. And when you have a lot of positive reviews on Facebook or a lot of positive reviews on Google, people are going to know you are somebody to trust. But it all starts with small. It all starts with the integrity that you have, that quality that you have. Just like the Proverbs 31 was known in her area for her services, products, and her integrity, you're going to be known for that as well. People are going to naturally come to you, especially people who hold the same values as you. The second thing, which is really, really important to me, is actually the one that took my anxiety away, was having multiple streams of income. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I grew up in a poor community. My dad had 1 to 2 jobs most times when I was growing up. My mom had 2 to 3 jobs a lot of times when I was growing up. So we didn't get to spend a lot of time with our parents, but they were working multiple incomes for survival. It wasn't to build a legacy of income. It was literally so we were not poor on the streets. And that way we had food in our stomachs and clothes on our backs. Growing up, I heard a lot of negativity about my parents working multiple jobs for our survival, especially with my mom, because she was a woman. In my community that I grew up, it wasn't right for a woman to have a job, let alone have multiple jobs. My mom didn't care. She knew that we were doing it for survival, but it still hurt a lot. It was still imprinted in my brain. So when I got my first job at 14 years old and I was going to school, I kept it secret. And then when I got to college and I held a job, I still kept it secret that I was going to college and held a full-time job in order to pay for my way for college. When I graduated college, I knew that I wanted to take down my debt as soon as possible. So I started working multiple jobs. And I actually at one point was working 3 jobs. And I was still in survival mode. I was still barely making it paycheck to paycheck. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I learned that multiple incomes did not mean that you had to do it for survival mode. That several financially independent women actually did multiple streams of income for their legacy. so they have something to give to their children, so that way they aren't living paycheck to paycheck. That way they can do the things that they want and go on those vacations and have all those nicer things they want. In today's world, it is so important to have multiple streams of income. A lot of times, especially in the area that I am, one form of income may not pay your rent and your bills. So you tend to have another second form of income. But turning that into a business level and growing it turns it from trying to get by from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, or loaning, paying back a loan, getting another loan out, building it so that one day that you won't have to look into your bank account and wonder how far in the negatives you are. It's going to be so important. And the only way to do that now is to have that multiple income. Courtney Sanders of thinkandgrowchick.com states an important lesson for us modern day Proverbs 31 women to address. Financially successful women often earn money not from the traditional job, but through other sources such as business, real estate, personal services, sales commission, intellectual properties, royalty, interest income, and financial investment. They also take inventory of what they're good at and seek different ways to monetize it, so they're always maintain their financial independence. Take it from me. 2 years ago, when I started going into multiple forms of income and really turning it into a business, I took on more than I could choose and I got burnt out. I wasn't being successful. When you are developing multiple incomes, start with one. Turn it into a profit, make sure that it's stable. Then go on to your second one. When it does the same, profit and stable, go to your next one, and so forth. Eventually, your business and all your business adventures and all your incomes that you have is going to be exponentially growth. And you're not even going to realize that it's payday. Because you're going to have enough in your account to not only pay your bills and to get the things that you want, but also to build your savings, to build your legacy. It's not going to be an overnight sensation. It's not. You're going to have to put in hard work. You're going to have to put in consistency in order for that to grow. And it all starts with day one, making the commitment that you're going to do that. The third thing I learned, which is probably the most important thing, is to create a business that has servitude. An 80-year study from Harvard University states that good relationships keep us happier and healthier. And Psychology Today reiterates that by saying that those who serve, those who have businesses that serve, or those who volunteer live happier and longer lives. Verse 15 talks about providing for her servants, and verse 20 talks about providing for the needy. So we know in Proverbs 31 that she was also serving, whether that was through her business or just through her daily life. She was serving others as well. This can go back to her word of mouth and creating integrity in her business, because people knew that she was taking care of those who worked for her and those who were in need. Having a servitude in our business creates strong connections mentally and really great relationships. And in business, those things are so important. You know the saying, you do what you love, you don't feel like you're working? That is so true. When you're serving others, you love doing what you're doing, you're not going to feel like you're clocking in and out. You're not going to feel the dread that you have to go to work every day. You're going to be passionate about it. You're going to be on fire. People are going to pick up on that. You're going to naturally talk about it, and you're going to naturally be productive. And you're going to push yourself for more productivity to reach those goals. Naturally. When you hate what you are doing, you're not going to do that. When you love what you're doing, when you are serving others, you are naturally going to do that, because the chemicals in your brain are going to tell you you are in love with what you're doing and that you need to do more of that. That's all the time I have for today. If you're interested in learning more about Proverbs 31, my podcast is coming out June 1st, 2021. And then one of the very first episodes we're going to talk about is more about the Proverbs 31. You can go ahead and sign up to get an email about when that launches at my website, yolandalatham.com. You can also get some freebies there. And if you wish to be part of the She Reigns community, go to that website and click on the She Reigns Academy. It is a free Facebook group, and we do weekly trainings in there about business and to help grow your business. If you love this video, go ahead and like it and leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to drop them down in the comments. I would love to hear your questions, and you never know, your questions might be a video in the near future. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you.